Hello, my name's Loretta, and I'm 77 years old. That's right, 77, and I'm a fan of the booth. Sinister One, Keith Hayes. That's right, my favorite. He's like a adorable Sammy Davis Jr., but for the new age kids. And everybody that loves sports, because I love all that New England sports. The Boston Celtics, the New England Patriots. I don't even give a damn about the Jets or the Giants.
Actually enjoy treating your customers like a piece of shit, because that's how I felt when I went to the Alamo Draft House. Okay? You know what? I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to text in your little crappy-ass theater. It was too f***ing dark in that place for me to find my seat, alright? I was using my phone as a flashlight to get to my f***ing seat. So excuse me for using my phone in USA, the United States of America, where you are free to text in a theater. I was not aware that I couldn't text in your theater, all right? I've texted in all the other theaters in Austin, and no one ever gave a fuck about what I was doing with my fucking phone, all right? And it was on silent. It wasn't on loud. It wasn't bothering anybody. You guys obviously were being assholes to me. And I'm sure that's what you do, you know, to rip people off. You take my money, and then you throw me out. You know, I will never be coming back to your Alamo Draft House or whatever. I'd rather go to a regular theater where people are actually polite. And, you know, I'm going to tell everyone about how you are. And I'm pretty sure you guys are being on purpose. So thanks for making me feel like a customer. Thanks for taking my money.
Deadass. Serious, I would hate me too. Look at me. Think he the shit. This nigga don't even crease his Air Forces. What the f***? Shut the fuck up, you lying.
Citizens of America.
People of the Florida Alliance.
You gotta move!
And the Western forces of Texas and California will be welcomed back to these United States as soon as their illegal secessionist government is deposed.
You don't know what side they're fighting for.
Someone's trying to kill us. We are trying to kill them.
What's going on, everybody? You already know who it is. It's your girl, Remy Jones. I have a special announcement. May 18th, 2024, we are going to be at the PPAC for the Remy TV Influencer Awards Show. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to have local talent performing. We're going to have celebrities performing. We're going to have amazing presenters. And all proceeds are going to go towards a job training program. So this is a charity award show. And if you want to know how you can help, if you want to donate, if you want to sponsor, you could directly reach me at www.remytvmedia.com.
So many times I played the fool and man held below. I'm too fly to be sitting here lonely, feeling for the ride, wanna put it on me. When you get inside and when I grind it, I can't deny it, feels so exciting, deeper. Is no restart.
It's not our party anymore. The Republican Party that made America safer, stronger. The party that put our security and American values first. A party born to expand liberty. A party of real free markets and economic growth that starts on Main Street, not rigged giveaways and special favors. Led by men and women of honor and courage, service and sacrifice. Leaders who never talk America down. That party is dead. We know why. We know who killed it. We're conservatives, not crazies. We believe in responsibility and accountability, in following the Constitution and the law, even when we don't like the results. We don't have to agree with Joe Biden on every policy issue. We won't. And when we don't, we'll say so. But so much is at stake in this election that it's time to put country over party and America over Trump.
Oscar Mike Radio is a proud podcast partner of Reats Across America Radio, heard every Thursday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern. They're also big supporters of the nonprofit I Got Your Six, Two Lives at Once. And with every wreath you sponsor through Oscar Mike Radio, $5 goes back to this great organization dedicated to making a difference in the lives of veterans, law enforcement, firefighters, and first responders battling PTSD. Two Lives at Once pairs these brave men and women together with dogs rescued from kill shelters. In this way, two lives are saved at the same time by saving each other. Donate now. Go to reatsacrossamerica.org/Oscar Mike Radio to help. That's reatsacrossamerica.org/Oscar Mike Radio.
Master Yoda I am. And listen you must to HulaZoom.com.
It's caught in the crossfire.
Who the hell is this? Texting me at 5:46 in the evening? Now I'm steaming.
Wipe the coals out your eyes, honey.
See who's texting you and why.
It's my man Pop from the barbershop, saying he's at the gambling spot and heard an intricate plot.
No.
Yep. Some people want to stick me like flypaper, neighbor.
Slow down, love.
Please chill.
Drop the caper.
Remember all your peoples from the hill up in Brownsville? The ones you rolled dice with, smoked blunts, and got nice with?
Yeah, that's my man Fame up in Prospect. But they're my peoples. Nah, love wouldn't disrespect.
He didn't mean them.
No, they schooled me to some chumps that knew you back when you was clocking minor figures.
But now they heard you blowing up like nitro.
Great! Now they want to stick a knife in my windpipe slow.
Thank Fame for warning me, now I'm warning you!
So you got the Mac. Tell me what you want to do.
Damn. Why they want a sticker for her paper?
Damn.
They heard about the Rolexes and the Lexus with the Texas license plate out of state.
They heard about the pounds you got down in Georgetown. Now they heard you got half of Virginia locked down.
They even heard about the crib you bought your mom out in Florida, the 5th Corridor.
Call the coroner.
There's gonna be a lot of slow singing.
And flowers bringing if my burglar alarm starts ringing.
What do you think all the guns are for?
An all-purpose war. I already got the Rottweilers by the door.
And I fed them gunpowder so they can devour the criminals. Trying to drop my decimals.
Yeah.
That's my girl.
Damn! Why they want to stick me for my cream?
It ain't a dream. Things ain't always what they seem.
It's the ones that smoke blunts with you. They see your picture, now they want to grab their guns and come and get you.
I'll mess around and get hardcore. C4 to the door, no beef no more.
Feel the rush.
Scandalous. The more weed smoke I puff, the more dangerous. I don't give a damn about you and your weed crew. What you gonna do when Big Katie comes for you? Mom, Dad, I'm not running. I'll bust my gun in.
Hold on. I hear somebody coming.
Hell is this? Paging me at 5:46 in the morning, crack of dawning, now I'm yawning, wipe the cold out my eye, see who's this paging me and why. It's my man Pop from the barber shop, told me he was in the gambling spot and heard the intricate plot. Some people wanna stick me like fly paper, neighbor. Slow down, love, please chill, drop the caper. Remember all your peoples from the hill up in Brownsville that you rolled dice with, smoke guys I got nice with. Yeah, little fame up in Prospect. Nah, them my peoples now. Love wouldn't disrespect. I didn't say them. They schooled me to some chumps that you knew from back when you was clocking minor figures. Now they heard you blowing up like nitro, and they wanna stick the knife through your windpipe slow. So thank fame for warning me, cause now I'm warning you. I got the back, Biggie. Tell me what you gonna do. Damn, why they wanna stick me for my paper? Damn, why they wanna stick me for my paper? Damn, why they wanna stick me for my paper? Damn, why they wanna stick me for my paper?
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Yeah.
Can you dig it?
You like some motherfucking action heroes in it. Yeah. This is destiny. This is madness. This is the proof. Step into the twisted mind of my literature, designed to get into the depths of your mind, administer sickness and to mimic the likes of snuff cinema. What you must get into, you're nothing but pups. Remember you Homer and Happy Simpson, son. The good talkers like the northern half of Korea's peninsula. ESP your island like the booth, something sinister. ESP your island like the booth, something sinister. ESP your island like the booth, something.
All right, it's your boy Sinister One broadcasting live from the City of Champions. You are watching The Booth. It is March 19th, first day of Sling. And the reason why I say Sling, because you guys know I own a Polaris slingshot that I call Vengeance, and you've seen the pictures all over the place. So, first day of Sling for me. Still a little too nippy to be riding. I've also got some upgrades that I gotta get done, so my guy down there at Bumper the Bumper, George, and his crew can get the stuff done. Got some new lights going in and things. But before I get into my first guest, I gotta get into my sponsors. Michael Douglas Barreto, MDB Electronics. If you have a controller that needs to be fixed or broken, the Xbox controller, send it out to him. You're back to gaming in 24, 48 hours. Also, Viana Marie's music, 494,000 streams. Push up those numbers, get her to 500,000. Her latest release was It's Personal, and her newest release is Blacklisted. Also, TacticalTargetSystems.com. You guys see me at the range. Them big-ass zombie life-size targets that you see me with, that's my guy, Don Robinson, TacticalTargetSystems.com. Travis Partington has gone to the range with me, and he was the same way. He's like, "Wow, where'd you get those targets?" This guy has got the make on it. Everybody's got zombie targets, but they're not like these ones. These Tactical Target System zombie targets are right there. You know, they're perfect, and you could be the next Rick Grimes. Also, I Love Boston Sports. Get a chance to win a T-shirt if you're in the chat. And then Kimberly Ann Empowerment Photography for women, ladies. If you want to take a photography session that you never thought you would take, she will get your esteem up and get you ready to take those pictures that you never thought you could take. Kimberly Ann Empowerment Photography. Also, my latest sponsor, Underwatch Protective Services, Mobile Patrol, Foot Patrol, Armed Guards, Unarmed Guards, Event Security, and Private Security. Reach out to Daryl Smith. He is the CEO. And before we get into the news booth, I've got my first guest on with me. He's actually making the rounds. He was on one of my other co-shows, Fubar Studios. He's been on Oscar Mike Radio with Travis, and now he's made his rounds. He's coming here on the booth. So he's actually going to talk about two of his books. He has this latest book that's coming out, and he has this other book that's been out there, Tales of Nihilism. And you're kind of like a comic book fan, also like me, a nerd at heart. Look, before we get into this interview, for us nerds right now, I hate to say this, but it's an awfully damn good time for us right now. We've had Transformer films on the big screen, Godzilla films like No Tomorrow on the big screen. The new Godzilla vs. Kong comes out on the 28th. I don't care what anybody says or think. We're all going to be there. We're all going to be there with our popcorn in our hands, ready to watch Godzilla and Kong kick ass. And here's the thing, people. The rumor is, and this isn't a spoiler, this is just a rumor. And if you are a nerd, you're going to freak out. Godzilla and Kong are teaming up to fight this baddie called Scar King. Scar King supposedly has the mental ability to control other Titans. The real true big baddie that's being rumored in this film is Destroyer. If this ends up being Destroyer like the last film was Mechagodzilla, it's going to be a nerdgasm. It is just going to be a huge nerdgasm in the movie theater for us. And, we've got all these comic book movies coming out. You've got there's a lot of graphic novels out there that are hit shows that people don't realize they come from graphic novels. They're not necessarily superheroes, but these are graphic novels based in the comic book nerd world. So what's it like for you, man, before we get into this conversation? What has it been like for you to be this guy and just enjoying video games coming to the big screen, TV shows? Like, if you were to tell me that Borderlands was going to be a friggin' movie on the big screen, if I was going to see Fallout, talk about it, man. Let's just talk about that real quick. Let's just have a true nerd moment right now.
Heck yeah! First of all, thanks for having me, Keith. But yeah, I'm like, why did none of this happen while I was in middle school, high school? Like when I was going through, all of that. If you were into any of this nerd stuff, you were a pariah. Like, oh, that's a nerd, man. Like, don't hang out with him. And it's just like, now it's all a part of the regular culture. It's totally normalized. A lot of this stuff started really hitting the box office after I joined the Army in 2004.
Oh,
and
man. So yeah, you were deployed, and all the good stuff was coming. Oh man!
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely. So I watched just about all these films on Haji Burn CDs and DVDs and all that. Some dude sneaking into the theater. They got the camera in their purse. So sometimes you might be able to watch the movie. Sometimes there'd be like somebody's head in the way. Through most of it.
Oh man! So what was the first thing when you came home from deployment? What was the first thing you said? I got to see. I got to just see this.
Shoot. It would have been 2007 when I got back, or 2008 when I got back, and I'm pretty sure like the we had just gotten through the first Avengers movie at that point.
That's right.
Because we'd gone through the Iron Man 1 and 2, and everybody was just going crazy about Robert Downey Jr. being Tony Stark. He fit the part completely and perfectly. They knocked those the first Iron Man out of the park, and it was just holy crap, and we thought we were going to get to see a lineup of everybody who was in the Avengers movie, and we just got Iron Man and Thor, so it was like, oh, come on, man. We thought we were going to get everybody, but hey, it's what happened.
Yeah. And it pulled together, and they made almost close to 20 years of history with that. And the funny thing is a lot of people don't realize this. When you talk about Iron Man, here's the thing. Robert Downey was blackballed by Hollywood because he was such a raging alcoholic. He was an a-hole. Nobody wanted to hire him. And Marvel took this huge chance, and everybody said it's going to be the biggest mistake you ever did. You're going to regret hiring this guy. He's going to ruin your whole franchise. And he's part of built it. If I was to meet him, he is an inspiration to me as far as somebody who bounced back and beat the odds, because and here's the funny thing. If you read Iron Man comic books, Tony Stark was a raging alcoholic. Yet in the movie, we never saw that side of Tony Stark in any of these events, which is crazy. And you hired the guy who was an alcoholic, which is crazy. Like, this whole thing is like amazing how this worked out. So I
think it was kind of I think it was kind of like the meta of what was going on. Like, people who were around during the time and had watched Robert Downey Jr. like understood his career, and like we were watching it, and I guess we like meta put that on him while we're watching this show, you know, and the movie. And there's a lot of like that cultural stuff that goes on in a lot of these movies. You see so much of the culture that was going on at the time. You know, it's heavily involved with Iraq. They were, you know, they started out in Afghanistan, and they're doing, you know, all these things that are going on at the time. You're like, oh, okay. So there's these implications you're putting on the movie just by watching it and growing up, you know, during that time period. So that part was, you know, pretty amazing. But I was more on, you know, the ones that were coming out that I was really tailored to was like Sin City and, you know, The Watchmen.
The graphic novels. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, when I had grown up as a teenager, these were things that, like, you know, they held behind the counter and stuff. Like, you know, they had in the silver freaking packaging and everything. You had to like be in with the comic book guy to get these, you know, because he's like, nah, kid, you're too young. You can't, you know, you can't be.
Remember when that first Dark Knight graphic novel came out? It was it was like a must-have. It was a must-have. It was crazy. It was insane.
Absolutely.
So that's a good segue into your first book, even though you're on here to promote your newest book. Let's talk about that first book and the inspiration for that book, kid.
Yeah, so Tales of Nihilism is, I guess, if anything, it's like the studio name. So we do like an anthology, and so far we have 6 main issues. We have a few short stories, and then we do comic strips in there, you know, kind of just put some content out. And the main story is really born out of, I would say, my struggles as a veteran, you know. And the whole premise of the idea is that you have a normal man and what it would be like to live in a world full of superheroes, and just how crazy and awful that would be. And, you know, you think of all the things that we go through on a regular basis, day in, day out. And then you try to put on that layer of like living in a world where you have superhero battles and other things going on all the time. It would just get, you know, too much for people. So that, you know, I'm trying to bring in that bit there from that NPC type mentality. And, you know, I've felt it and been through it as well. When you get out of the military and you're lost, you don't have any direction. You're trying to figure things out and bouncing around, moving around, trying to figure, you know, life out. When I first got out of active duty the first time in 2008, as soon as I got out, I'm moving to Houston, trying to sign up for college. And then all of a sudden a hurricane hits Houston, and just the whole city gets, you know, shut down for weeks.
Right.
I couldn't even contact my guard unit that I just, you know, because I transitioned active into the guard. Had no way to contact them. I'm rolling up on random National Guard soldiers like, hey, I'm supposed to be in the guard. Does anybody know anything? You know, is there any way I can get out here and help, you know, and assist with the cleanup and stuff? And they're like, nah, just wait until all this dies down, you know, and go to the headquarters and whatnot. Doing that. When I first got out too, I'm on the Montgomery GI Bill, And so since college shut down for, I want to say, at least a month and a half, you didn't get paid for that school time because you only got paid for what they could certify on the school time.
Right.
You know,
Right. Oh man.
and you had to certify that every month, call in, and wait 2 hours on the VA trying to certify that you're still in class.
Wow.
And my job,
Crazy.
my job was a part-time, Marine wholesale retail maintenance operation. So of course, being on the water and everything like that, that was shut down too. Yeah, and so like that's me asked when I got out is like, hey, like you don't have that buffer anymore. What do you do?
That is like the perfect storm of this is some bullshit.
Yeah. Absolutely. You're just like, oh man.
Wow. So this book is available. That's out there. Is that on Amazon and through your website?
No, so I publish digitally on Global Comics.
Okay.
So it's an independent comic website, and they allow creators to just put up whatever you want. There's no control. There's no editorial on that. It's just whatever the creators do. And we also have links to in each issue for a print on demand, so you can purchase straight from the website there. And then when we go out to these conventions, we'll print these issues, to sell at the conventions and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, there's actually this weekend coming up. I got to mention the Horror Depot AuthorCon is in Rhode Island this weekend. I had a gentleman on this show. He came on to promote some of his films and things of that stuff, and he's going to be down there. So I'm going to be checking with him on Saturday and heading down there for that one. And that should be a great event, and I can't wait to see. But yeah. What is it like for you to to get these thoughts in your head and put them down on paper, and then to see them come to life for you?
Yeah, this was a part of my life that once I exited the military the second time in 2017, that's where I really started thinking about, personally who I was and, the going back to kind of like my roots and everything. And prior to joining the military in 2004, I was always the theater and art kid, the music kid, involved in that world. And I wanted to reconnect with that part of myself because it's something that I'd kind of like cut off with the military. You get into, especially being infantry and all that kind of stuff. There's a different kind of like culture and flow to what you're doing. So you can still be creative in a sense, but it's not something that you really have mental space for with everything that goes on all the time. And I just sat down and went back to the roots, started sketching. I was like painting Bob Ross along with Bob Ross videos and stuff like that. And then it felt good, but there was still something that I needed out of that. And I was like, okay, what if I take all of these stories and experiences that I have over the years, and I use my art to do that and start, expressing myself in these stories. And so that's where I got the ball rolling. And then the second thing that I did that really assisted is I went on one of the social media sites and I found a civilian writer, Joseph Miles Pittman. He's my script writer. And that really helped me refine my process and say, okay, this is what I want to say, and this is how we want to show this story, and this is, what we can do to make this better.
Nice. Wow, I like that. And there's a question, but I'm gonna wait till we ask about after we talk about this second book. I'm very impressed by this, and you're a veteran and that, so there's definitely a question I have afterwards. So so how do you bounce off of this first project, and then how do you get an inspiration to move into this second project, which is Troublemakers, the greatest dog and pony show in Iraq?
Yeah, so this is a memoir about my deployment in 2006 to 07 in Bakuba, Iraq. We were there during the surge. 30 miles northeast of Baghdad in the Diyala province, and our company went through some of the like biggest shit out there during that time period. And it was one of those things that it's so fundamental in the structure of your life and, starting your adult life that you just have to do something about it. There you have to put something down and talk about these things and, express yourself with this. So it was like, yeah, as soon as I got back from the deployment, the first thing I did was I wrote down as much as I could remember about the deployment as I could possibly remember. And I just sat there and let that sit for a long time. And it wasn't until I got out in 2017 that that was something that I picked back up and looked into, and then looked around at the world that I was moving back into and decided that, I think that there's a need and a reason to write this memoir and to, put this out so the public can actually see some of this, that occurred in Iraq and and see it from that perspective. Because I wasn't a sergeant at the time. I wasn't an officer or anything like that. I certainly wasn't in a high speed unit like Rangers or Special Forces and stuff.
Right.
So this is your Private Russell, coming from the ground perspective of what it's like to be a 20-year-old in Iraq, and yeah.
And not to knock it, rank and special foot, all that stuff. Look, I had a buddy, and I remember I had a buddy. He joined the military. Name's Dennis Donahue. He's a good friend, like a brother to me. We grew up together. And Dennis signed up with the Army, as soon as we graduated high school. And then he was there, and he ended up getting deployed overseas when the Iraq happened. I remember I was in Boston at a nightclub concert to see Fort Minor. I remember seeing Fort Minor, and while I was at this show, it broke in, and everybody's phones, at that time, everybody had flip phones and stuff, and we had invaded Iraq, and troops were going over. And I came home, and my buddy said he's going. And, we were like, okay, he's a mechanic. Nothing can happen. We were like, oh, this. And within months, they set up a certain amount of people who can talk to you when you're over there. I got the clearance. I was able to go on my computer and, send messages to him and stuff. And, there were some pictures and things he started to send me, and I was like, holy shit, this is real stuff. So my buddy Dennis, he was a mechanic. He was in charge of track vehicle maintenance. The sad part with him is that he was being sent out to all of these vehicles that would hit the IEDs. And his job was to get the road clear. They didn't care. Get the road clear so everything could just move through. And one of the scariest stories he told me was that, usually you go out there, you pull something, and you're back, and you're fixing, or you whatever can be fixed. And he said there was this one time they went out there, and as they're getting ready to pull the vehicle, the guy comes up, commanding officer comes up, hey, we got a village over here. We need help. You guys got to go clear that village. And my buddy said, whoa. We're track vehicle. We're just here to get the vehicle up. We're not even flak vested up. We're not even, I don't care. Clear that village. And he said it was the scariest 20 minutes of his life because he had no flak vest. He just had his bare essentials to cover his ass. He wasn't out there looking for a firefight. And I said to myself, this is insane. This is crazy.
Yeah. And but by the time you get to 2006, 2007, you're still in that like Wild West, type thing. We showed up to Iraq, and we had soft skin Humvees. We had to pack the bottoms with sandbags and stuff like that. And, you're watching all this insanity go on around you. And it's not any sort of sense of bragging or anything, but I think it's about the nature of what we went through. Like in my company alone, we lost 12 people in under 6 months, and our battalion took some of the highest casualties during the deployment. So it's one of those where it was a very intense time, and I don't think people really understand like what we did over there, what the purpose was, what anything was going on, and how that relates to things that are going on nowadays. You know, what happened because of that, and what kind of ball got rolling because of that.
Mhm.
You know. And so yeah, it's kind of a like, hey, we need to look back and see what we did. We need to see what people went through and understand, you know, that the world we live in today is a direct effect because of, you know, that time.
Right, right. Now, how much of this book that you wrote, even though it is your personal memoirs, how much of it was, I don't want, well, maybe not a sigh of relief, but something that you felt like you needed to get out, and when you got it out on paper, you were like, woosah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a catharsis to getting that out, you know. And you go through all of the the feelings while you're writing it. You like relive everything again, and you're sitting here debating about these incidents, and even, you know, going through the editing process with my publisher. Now you're starting to like cut things out and move things around and do that, and part of that is even a process where you're like, I don't really want to cut anything because I want to tell everything I can, but
Right,
then
right.
I've got to tell a coherent story. I've got to, you know, make this, you know, not palatable, but, you know, make it readable, right?
Right,
So
right.
even that, you know, you're sitting here thinking like, that's a pretty important thing, but, you know, your editor's like, hey, it doesn't really jive along with your story, so we need to like pull that or this, because, you know, we got a book and it can't be 200,000 pages. You know.
Right, right, right. And it's funny because the topic entitled itself Troublemakers, the greatest dog and pony show in Iraq, is funny because, you know, for those who knew somebody who was over there, like my buddy Dennis, for those who had family who were over there, you know, what you were hearing and seeing on TV was not what family members and close friends were getting from those who were there. Like
Yeah.
there were things that I would get from him, and I'm like, dude, they're not talking about any of this type of stuff. Like he told me, I remember him telling me there was a time where you couldn't even trust kids, and kids really like soldiers over there. But he was like, Keith, he's like, you can't even really trust these people. These people will put bombs on their kids. He's like, this is how crazy it was. And he's like, you know,
I outline it in the book. We had an incident where, you know, the Al Qaeda, the beginnings of ISIS were emerging out there, and one of their psyops campaign was to sell children fake AKs that looked exactly like real AKs. They were just as long, and they would take off the orange, you know, safety thing on the front of them,
right.
and they'd let these kids run around, and then all these kids start getting mowed down, you know, because they're running around looking like they have real weapons and stuff, and they're pointing them at soldiers, and, you know, all of that. And it's just all this kind of stuff is going on. Most people don't even know 2006 Iraq had a civil war. You know, like that's completely out of the speech and stuff like that. That this whole country just erupted into pure chaos, and there were no rules. There was nothing going on except, you know, make it another day. And to add on to that, you know, we weren't living like most soldiers as well. We weren't living at a fob. We weren't on a base. We were one of the first companies to go out and live in a combat outpost amongst the people in Iraq. And so you're experiencing everything that they're experiencing at the same time. And that kind of like cultural, you know, interaction, like I think it made people understand a lot more, you know, when you're talking to these people daily and they're telling you things like, yeah, man, you know, like we've seen dozens of armies come through Iraq and everybody promises freedom. It was still, you know, just, it was a lot better when Saddam was here. And you're just like, oh my God. And then you're seeing the flip side with the Kurds. You're seeing those guys out there. I saw all the Kurdish people that had been gassed with the sarin gas and they were disfigured, you know.
I remember that.
And then, yeah. And then to turn around years later after that, and then I'm in Turkey doing a security job, with the Army out there. And then you look and you see that we've put all the Kurdish people on a terrorist watch list, and they're considered terrorists because Turkey's a NATO ally and they don't like the Kurds. You're just like, so all this kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, people, how many people know who Kurds are? And that, that just like the Palestinians, they're people without a nation, and they're just out there fending on their own,
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like I said, I had a lot of stories. Thank God my buddy Dennis came back in one piece. But the stories that I got and the stories that I was hearing was just crazy and out of control. And I had always wanted them to come home safe, which I'm glad he did. And so my thing is for you, is you've got these 2 books that are out there. You're really out here promoting this Troublemakers, and you're able to get your emotions and your stories out there. What is it that you would like to say to other veterans, seeing that you're right now, you have your purpose, you have your path, but sometimes we see these stories of some veterans who just, they get lost, they can't find that new purpose, and they're lost. Things aren't going their way, like you said, things happen and don't go your way. And then we have situations like up in Maine, or we have situations. If you could talk to one veteran and just say, how they could just kind of find their purpose and maybe get out of that, what would you try to tell someone?
I think what helped me the most was looking back at who I was prior to the Army, and then trying to reconnect with that. You're never going to be able to like move back in life and reinvent yourself as something old, but you can still like go back and say, hey, like this is the person who I was before the military, and these are some positive things about that, and maybe I want to invest more into that. It's instead of trying to take all the jargon and all the stuff that they feed you when you're getting out, like, hey, you're going to do this to go get a good job, and you got to go through college, and you got to do all this and blah blah blah. It's like reconnect with who you were, because everybody has that indoctrination when they go through the military of like, we have to adopt certain things, and some things make you a better person, like learning how to be, hey man, if you're going to show up, be 15 minutes early. If you're going to do this, do a job, do it right the first time, and make sure that you're following correct procedures and things like that. Be descriptive and pay attention to detail. Those are all great, but there's also a cultural indoctrination that you have to like assimilate yourself with, and part of that breaks a piece of you off. So it's not a bad thing to take some time and like reconnect with who you were before the military.
I like that. That's a good thing. So if you're out here watching, you're a veteran, you're checking out this show, just if we can just help one person, with some advice, this is what we try to do here in the booth. And like I said, I'm helping support Travis Podington's Oscar Mike Radio, and I'm out here helping support Fubar Studios and Homeland Heroes for Dougie. So, my part is to make sure that I, help veterans and get the word out there, because, for so much, and it's not just now, it's been this way since Nam. Our country tries to do its best, but they always fall short in helping our veterans.
Since the Revolutionary War, man. I mean, you look at the very first thing that America did as soon as we won the Revolutionary War was not pay the veterans that they promised to pay. That was like the first act that Congress did, was like, oh, sorry, let the states pay you guys because we can't do it.
Yeah. One of the things that pissed me off is I followed this lawsuit over the Vietnam vets over Agent Orange. And what pissed me off about this government the most was that they turned around and they waited till pretty much only 1% of these guys were alive. And then they say, you know what? We messed up. We're going to pay everybody for the Agent Orange. And I'm like, really? You're going to wait until there's like 1% of Vietnam vets that were affected by this, just a handful, and now you want to take responsibility and pay them out. Why? Because the number is small and it's not that big of a financial hit, but yet you make yourselves look good in a ton of effing PR because you want to pay out 8 guys or something like that. It was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and that's why I'm so glad that they passed the PAC Act right now. So there are some living veterans right now who were messed up from the stuff and the chemicals over there in Iraq and stuff. And, you know, I got to thank Jon Stewart. If it wasn't for Jon Stewart pushing the hell out of that bill, I don't think it would have ever have gotten done. So that PAC bill is, I'm glad to see a lot of veterans, living veterans, be able to get that benefit to help them out with the cancers and the things that are going on.
Absolutely.
There's a ton of stuff. Yeah, there's a ton of
But
stuff that
I'd
guys
say
and women
with
came home with.
I'd say with the you know the veteran advocacy, you know, the thing that I don't believe enough of these organizations focus on is that, you know, in today's society and even, you know, back then in Nam and stuff, there's maybe a handful of MOSs where you can leave that job from the military and walk right onto a civilian position doing the exact same thing at the same pay rate, certified the same way. Like that's not a thing. You know, there's very, very few jobs. I think like air traffic control, if you do that in the military, you have to get like those federal certifications to do it. So yeah, you can hop off that job and move into the civilian job when you get out. And it's not for a lack of not existing either. You know, even me being an infantry guy, when I got out of the military, I couldn't even walk on to an armed security position. They were like, you don't have the right certifications. You know, you don't have a concealed handgun license. You don't have this. You don't have that. And you're like, it's not like these federal certs don't exist. You know, there's WPPS, weapons personal security. You know, there's all these kind of deals that you could do. Even the medics, they get out. The only thing you have is an EMT basic. That's it. You know, unless you worked on that on your own, and you know, depending on where you were in the military, you might not have had the availability to be able to do that and get a paramedic license. And that's the difference between working minimum wage and getting, you know, 20-25 bucks an hour. Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't until 2017 that Army truck drivers didn't get a CDL for their MOS schooling, you know, and there's so many things like this where there is legitimate certifications, and all it would take is a stroke of pen from Congress to be like, if you did this in the military and you did it for 2 years, 3 years, you walk out, you're certified.
Yeah. My buddy Dennis, track vehicle maintenance, drove a ton of vehicles, heavy vehicles, and when he came out, it was tough getting. But he ended up delivering fuel. He was driving the rig, delivering fuel to gas stations. Was one of the places, and then they ended up screwing him over some stuff, and I lost respect for that company for doing what they did.
Yeah.
So to the helping him and working with him, they screwed him over. He had a lawyer, and he was able to, you know, make things right, but what they did was still
But
wrong.
even
They
then, like
eliminated his position, you know.
Yeah, that's a struggle. And there's this different, like, you know, mentality nowadays where it's like my dad, when he got out of Vietnam as an Air Force guy, he was just an office clerk, and he walked right on to Honeywell, and it's like, hey, oh, you were a Vietnam vet? Cool. We're going to train you to be a computer software engineer. Boom, here we go. We're going to throw you into ITT and do all this stuff, you know, and
right.
And there was this, that socially veterans were getting treated like crap. You know, out on the street, they were getting spit on. They're getting, you know, treated that way. But structurally, it was like, you're a veteran, you paid your dues, come right on here. You don't need an education. You don't need all this kind of stuff. We'll work you in here. We know we can train you, and that you have the discipline and the, you know, endurance to do this. Nowadays, it's flipped. You see everybody and their mom has a yellow ribbon on their car. You see all these people, oh, thank you so much for the vets. Let's do flyovers over the NFL stadiums. But when you get out and you're like, hey, man, can I get a decent job, you know, to take care of me and my family? Can I earn a living wage? Can I at least do the same job that I did in the military? They're like, ooh, no, that's a bridge too far, you know.
You gotta have 4 years of college with a bachelor's degree and a doctorate.
Yeah.
And here you are, you spent the last 18 in the military, you know, with the best hands-on knowledge there is, and probably the best under pressure when it comes time, you know, and that's
absolutely.
And that's what I tell people all the time. You know, you see, I was in public transportation for years, came up through the ranks and, never went to college. And, you've had a couple of people in public transportation, they went to college and all this stuff. And then the first time you have a train or a trolley or a bus or something breaks down, you got 20,000 people looking to be moved. And the person who freaks out and loses control is the kid who went to college on a scholarship, who supposedly knows everything about public transportation. But,
Yeah.
But fails
Absolutely.
under pressure. So
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like that scene in Aliens when they're doing the drop, they're dropping down to the planet, and the guy, and they're like, how many times have you ever dropped? He's like 100, and he's like, real or simulation? He's like, simulation. And they're like, holy shit, this guy's first 20.
I mean,
Oh,
we experienced it firsthand in Iraq, and we went through 6 lieutenants in our platoon, getting injured. And it was the same thing. Every single one of them. I've been to college, I've been to Ranger school, and you're like, sir, like, this can be a real easy deployment for you. You just sit back, earn your Bronze Star, and, chill out. Or you can do something stupid like the last guy. And it took 6 of them to learn, like.
Right. Like Starship Troopers, medic!
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, Helldivers 2, people, if you can get on it, check it out. Oh, I gotta get it for shame, but that I hate to say, I'm spending a lot of time on this game, Helldivers 2, right now.
I've been hearing about it, but I'm still catching up from Baldur's Gate. So.
Oh man, if you're a fan of Starship Troopers, it's one of the greatest games out there, and just reaching that deployment and calling in your ordinances for napalm strikes and stuff on the bugs and Terminators. It's like Aliens and Terminators rolled into one game, and then you have to deploy out. It gets insane. And when you're playing with friends, and if you have different ordinances, one guy says, "Well, I've got the laser strike from up above. I'll save mine." One guy can get supply. Oh yeah, it gets pretty crazy when the bugs and everything are coming, and you gotta wait for exfil, and you wait for exfil, and that 1 minute wait seems like forever in the game. You got that one guy that runs off. Get back here! Oh man, good stuff. But the guys, Stephen Russell, Troublemakers, the greatest dog show dog and pony show in Iraq. And real quick, explain this cover. Is this cover part of one of your real stories with the chickens? And is that somebody?
So I did the front and back cover art, and then for the 25 chapters that's in there, I did the chapter art for that as well. And the front cover is kind of like trying to take you through the deployment. So everything has like a meaning behind it. It's something that occurred while we were over there. And I wanted it to have that feel, because we all in the military know what the dog and pony show means. And so I wanted to have that like circus feel to it. Like it looks like a circus poster. And there's me and my buddy Joe on the front, and we're walking down the street like we just walked into Disneyland and stuff.
It's good stuff. And I'll make sure to put the cover up here for you guys to check it out and see it. And again, where can they follow you and find you, man?
So the book, it's out on Blue Ear Books for pre-order right now. Due to some technical stuff with the publisher, it's going to be dropping in April for official, publishing on Amazon.
Okay.
And then the comics, they're up on Global Comics. You can go on there, and they have a really good system set up. If you're one of the people that likes to do the subscription model, you can subscribe and read our comics that way, or you can go straight there and purchase a PDF of our comics if you want to read them digitally, or you can go on the deal itself and click on it, and it has like a link, and you can purchase a physical copy as well.
Yeah, good stuff. Wow.
Yeah.
usually my interviews are 10 minutes. Usually I tell people, but I always tell people, it's my show. I can do what the F I want. Most people it's 10 minutes and then they kick you off. Sometimes the conversation goes so well, you sit back and then you look down and you're like, holy crap. And here we are. I'm here with Stephen Russell, and we're at the 42-minute mark.
Yeah.
So I would say another good interview here on the booth. Great stuff, Stephen Russell. People
Oh,
go
and
out there.
you guys are. Oh, I was about to say you guys are out there near Boston, right?
Yes, we're on the East Coast here in Boston.
Yeah.
I'm in Brockton, which is about 20, 30 minutes south of Boston. So,
Oh, okay.
like I said,
Yeah.
I'll be heading. I'm trying to head down to Rhode Island this weekend for the Horror Depot Authorcon. It would have been nice to see if you could have come out there to that. That's a big event.
Mhm.
So we're gonna head down for that. But it's great stuff, man.
Well,
Great stuff having
I
you
do
on.
have a convention going on there, Fitchburg, Massachusetts. I want to say
Pittsburgh?
it's July. Yeah, I want to say it's July 22nd. Plastic City Comic Con.
Plastic City Comic.
Hmm.
Hey, and you'll have to hit me up with that because if you're gonna be in town, Fitchburg is out. That's not far from here. It's a nice ride in July, so it'd be a nice reason to get the sling out, get vengeance out, and take the ride out there. So,
Yeah.
Great stuff, Steven, man. I want to thank you for coming on, guys. Please support this guy, and man, thank you for your service, man. Thank you. I can't say that enough for those who put their time out there, and it's good stuff. So, actually, in July, when you come back out this way, maybe we'll get you on, because you'll be out here to promote this book. Then at that time, correct?
Yeah, and what we do, in the meantime, is we sell advertising space in the physical comics themselves.
Oh, okay.
So if you're a veteran business out there and you want to do some advertising, we got that. So we can market to you. And one of the big ones I'm working on with Travis is in November. We're supposed to be going to Veteran Comic Con out in San Francisco in November.
Oh,
so that'll be really good if you're a veteran owned business and out there at the Veteran Comic Con. That'll be a unique opportunity for you.
Wow, and that's in November.
Mhm.
That one? Wow, that's going to be a good time. Oh, Travis is going to, yeah, that's a good time. That's a good time. Man, great stuff. Great for having you on, man.
Yeah, it's nice being here. Nice talking to you, man.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back here with more Booth after this. You're watching on Hoobazoo.com, Facebook.com, Twitter, Twitch, well, it's X, Instagram, YouTube, everybody who's out there. If you listen on Spotify, thank you for supporting the show. We'll be back after this in 2 minutes. Broadcasting live from the City of Champions back here in the booth. And I want to thank my first guest, Stephen Russell, for coming on the show. We got about 15 minutes left. I got to thank everybody who's hanging out in the chat. Stephanie, thank you for tuning into the show. Thank you for donating the stars, giving the booth some stars, giving us some love. Thank you. But Stephen Russell, I dropped some links in the chat. You guys can definitely pre-order the book now. And like I said, when he comes back out this way, when he's up in Fitchburg, I'm going to try to link up with him and kind of see what's going on. So we got about 15 minutes left. I got to blow through this show. Let me get into the news booth. In the news booth, Family Dollar, Dollar Tree stores to close some stores. Now, we kind of knew this was happening because Family Dollar and Dollar Tree were competitors. And then Dollar Tree bought out Family Dollar. So in a lot of different places, as you see in the picture, they have Family Dollars right next to a Dollar Tree. So Dollar Tree is now condensing those locations, probably going to eliminate those locations where they have two locations right next to each other or right in the same plaza or whatever. So it's not that big of a deal. I see a lot of people saying it's Bidenomics and things like that. It isn't. It's smart retailing. Close those stores you don't need. keep the ones that are making the more money. So I understand that. Dollar General, yes, Dollar General is the big one down south. They were up here. Some areas they prosper, and then some areas they failed. Dollar General was here in Brockton on the east side, and it couldn't last. It might have been it was because it was a crappy location. I don't know, but it didn't last. But the one on the west side has been able to survive. So it's weird. It's like a local thing. Stephanie, there's a link. If you're gonna order his book, pre-order his book, it's right through his site, through his publisher. So you can pre-order, and I believe it's also on Amazon. You can scroll up here in the chat, and I did drop the link for that. Also in the news booth, a woke lead designer of Black Panther video game admits, this is what I hate people. She admits that she didn't hire any white people because it's hard to work with them, and she wanted to create a safe environment. Look, people, two wrongs don't make a right. Two wrongs don't make a right. In other words, this is still racism. This is still violating a person's right to work. If a white person in the 60s and 70s and 80s said that they didn't hire any black people because it's hard to work with them and they wanted to create a safe environment, you know what would happen to that company? They'd be sued. They'd be run out of town. They'd be sued. So two wrongs don't make a right. Some of your most positive workplace environments have the most diverse workforces. So come on, man. Stop it. Stop it with this stuff. Some of y'all are just adding to the problems that are out there. Narrative. In the legal booth, Supreme Court blocks Texas from enforcing the controversial immigration law for now. That was the law that was put into place where they were having sheriffs and Border Patrol and some other officers arrest undocumented immigrants coming across the borders. It's illegal to do that, as Ken pointed out in the show. So Supreme Court has stepped in and have blocked that from going on. So it's going to get real interesting to see what's going to happen here. SCOTUS, ever since SCOTUS got spanked at the State of the Union, damn, they've kind of changed up their thought process. Also in the legal booth, the House passes the TikTok ban bill. We're going to see what's going to happen with TikTok. I call TikTok the bad parenting social media. There's so much bad parenting going on to TikTok. Some of y'all should just jail. Also in the legal booth, judge threw out 6 counts of Trump Georgia election interference indictment. I saw everybody out here talking about how happy they were and how this was gonna eliminate Fannie Trump from it. Look, it had nothing to do with Fannie Trump. Nothing was going to happen to Fannie Trump because they dropped these 6 charges. It has nothing to do with that. And then the next day, just as I said, the Fulton County judge came out and said that only two men enter, 1 man leave. That's kind of what it was here. They could continue on this case, but someone had to step down. So the prosecutor, the boyfriend, he actually stepped down from the position. So Fannie Willis will continue to prosecute Donald Trump over this 2020 election interference case. Her boyfriend, the prosecutor, has stepped down, so they've got to find another prosecutor to step in and take that over. And also, The Crow 2024. Look, this is one of my most favorite movies. The Crow. Brandon Lee, God rest his soul. Bill Skarsgård is now in that lead role. At first I was kind of nervous about this, but man, oh man, take a look at this trailer from Lionsgate. This is The Crow.
brilliantly broken.
You feel like my person.
You feel like my person.
What's the worst thing you've ever done?
I saw things. I shouldn't have seen any of it.
Julie! Julie! Please don't do this!
When someone dies, a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead. And sometimes something so bad happens that the soul cannot rest. Until you put the wrong things right. You were given the power of a god. But you're running out of time to save her. I'm gonna kill them. Every single one of them. And killed you.
Yeah, you did.
We have a problem. He came for us.
First impulse. Anger. It's not anger. It's love.
Look at what you've become. You know that love promises only pain. You have no idea what hell awaits you.
No, I do.
How many people have you loved?
I'll never be alone.
That is The Crow, and I am so excited for that. At first, I was feeling some type of way. I was truly feeling some type of way about this redo, because there's some movies I feel like, don't F with it. Don't F with it. Just let it be. The Crow is, classic, cult classic, but I gotta see this. My curiosity is piqued, and I've got to see it. And then J-Lo. I don't care what J-Lo is. If J-Lo could be in the worst movie ever I'm watching. Because you all know about me and Jennifer Lopez. Oh my God. But here's the thing, people. What do you get when you take a video game called Titanfall? That's what this movie looks like. This movie looks like Titanfall. What do you get? You take the movie the video game Titanfall, and throw in a little bit of Jennifer Lopez. You're gonna get this movie right here, Atlas, on Netflix. Right there. There's my $14.99 a month. Right there. Worth it. Here we go.
Do you copy? Do you copy?
thrusters?
Yes, fire thrusters! Fire thrusters now! Mission Control. This is Atlas Shepard. Can you hear me?
Atlas. Looking like, J-Lo poured into that Titanfall space mech suit. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Let's get into the sports move. Multiple Celtics starters are questionable for Wednesday's Bucks game, which is underway. I haven't even checked on the score yet. I got to check it out and see. But the Bucks, Celtics have beat the Pistons the other night, and they get the Pistons again, I think, on Friday. And they've clinched the playoffs. They're playing great ball. Guys are getting some rest. Let's keep these wins going. Also in the sports booth, Chicago Bears trade Justin Fields to the Steelers for a 6th-round conditional pick in 2025. 6th-round pick seems to be what's going on for that draft class. Mac Jones went to the Jaguars, 6th-round pick. Justin Fields to Steelers, 6th-round pick. Garbage. I told everyone that ended up being a garbage draft class. Also, March Madness is kicked off. Your first 4 began tonight in women's and men's. If your brackets are done, good luck to you. March Madness has kicked off. We are officially underway. And let's get into the Biden bombshells. We got about... Actually, we're over by a minute, so we got to get ready to get out of here. But in Russia, the Russian election took place. Vladimir Putin wins 87.8% of the vote. He didn't win. Let's be real honest here. If Navalny was not killed, Putin was in trouble. And you saw the footage coming out of Russia last week for this election. There was a lot of people protesting. This election. So to say Putin got 87.8, some of them votes are fear votes because Putin really put it out there. Look, they almost had a coup in Russia. And then everybody got scared and left that general out to hang. And then what happened? Putin didn't even wait a year. They didn't even wait a year. This dude, supposedly his plane crashed. Remember this? His plane had crashed, and they found him with his head cut off. But they were saying, that his head, they weren't sure if his head was cut off before the plane crashed or after. Come on. Come on now. We smarter than Putin put the fear in everybody in Russia. He's the boogeyman. He's the Baba Yaga, of Russia. People went to vote because they were scared. They were scared of Putin. And I watched the HBO special, and they followed Navalny around from 2020 to 2020 when he got arrested off the plane, and they diverted the plane. And then, they tried to assassinate him with that chemical. And, Russia and Putin, they connected it. And, bad dude. Also, President Trump tries to fundraise off the bloodbath controversy on what he had said over the weekend in Ohio, in regards to the union out there in one of the power plants. He said if he doesn't win, there'll be a bloodbath, and everybody took those comments and they're all spinning it he's going to make a fundraiser out of it and try to make this money. He's got to make this money because he can't find nobody to pay that, front that money for that bond, that $464 million bond. He can't find nobody to front that money. And I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna find any insurance company to front that money for him. So he's got problems. He's got money problems. He's got to figure it out, which is why, what's her name? Nikki Haley hasn't officially dropped out. Nikki Haley suspended her rate. Suspended. She didn't drop out. She hasn't dropped out yet. She's suspended. And the reason why, the political strategic reason why, is because if the crap does hit the fan and Trump can't run and he ends up going to jail or he ends up no money, she can jump right back in and she'll be the sole Republican runner for this race. And she will be the RNC's pick. So that's something people in the Republican Party, they're keeping their eyes on. They know. That's why Nikki Haley has not officially dropped out. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the show. Those are the beanies. Hate to say this, but they're gone. They're all sold out. They've been sold out. And I have not got my button gear and gotten new beanies for people to buy because a lot of people are saying they want hoodies now. So I'm going to see about getting some hoodies made up, and I got to hurry up and do it. These are all the shows I produce. Driving the Circuits was on before we went live tonight. Oscar Mike Radio is tomorrow night. Maddie C Sports for you and me are on Sundays. Happy Hour with Lito, trying to see when he's going to come back. Fubar Studios, Homeland Heroes Salute Podcast. That was tonight. Also, Platinum City Gaming in Taunton, 294 Winthrop Street. Go down there and check them out. They've got plenty of food to check out. Full bar, bumper cars, all types of stuff. Also, tonight was the military-themed cookie decorating class fundraiser. Proceeds were for IGY6. It was from 6 to 8, so hopefully they had a good turnout. Thirsty Moose Tap House. That takes place in Portsmouth on March 25th, 11:30 to 1:30. This is to raise money for Homeland Heroes. Also, don't forget, Thursday, March 28th, the Patriots are going to feature a Vietnam pinning ceremony for those veterans who are still alive. They will receive their pin, and they will be able to luncheon and stuff like that. Also, check out Fubar Studios Track Day for Veterans March DraftKings event that's going on, 1,050,050. Also, on May 4th, Slingshot National Meet and Greet, Northeast Slingshots. If the weather's nice, be heading down. Yesterday was the first day of Sling. Also, the 2024 Influencer Awards, May 18th, takes place. My artist, Vianna Marie, is nominated for Best Hip Hop Female. I will be there. And it's going to be great stuff. Stephanie says, Homeland Heroes. Do you watch? If you check in and watch that show, Stephanie, let me know. Also, Boston's 13th Annual Wounded Vet Run takes place on May 19th. May 25th is the Vampire versus Zombies. Are you ready? This is where everybody dresses up like vampires and zombies, and they go all around the city of Boston on Memorial Day weekend. Also, don't forget, Bat buses. You can ride them for free December 1st to May 31st. It's getting close. Getting close. You're going to lose this in May. And, man, please, excuse me, but my nose is running. It's like allergies or something is back in the air. I don't know what. Dying. Homeland Heroes, 10th Annual Motorcycle Ride, Ryan's Ride, June 22nd, 2024. Tickets are $25. Kickstands up at 11 a.m. out of Salem, New Hampshire. And I think that's the last one. Is that the last one? Yes, I think it is. I think it's going to be. With that being said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Stephanie says, I miss home. You'll have to come home and visit and say hello to people. Check it out. And other than that, got to get ready to get out of here. I went a little bit over tonight. And I'm sorry, my nose is running. I got to keep sniffing. I'm going upstairs and get some Coma Quill. Knock my ass out. You know when you take that Coma Quill and it's like count backwards from 20. Oh man, but thank you everybody for tuning in. Good show. SpongeBob, do me a favor, take us home. I gotta get some rest. 4 shows in one day.
Well, see you next Tuesday. Thank you for listening to The Booth on Hoobazoo and HatcherRadio.com. Please follow the Facebook page and subscribe to the podcast at Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. The Booth is a Sinister One production hosted by Sinister One.
I've got to start hanging out with friends that are a little more intelligent and understand politics and stuff. It's just that I'm up on this level up here, and all my friends are down here. Me, nah. You guys, nah. Maybe a little more down in here. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
I smoke, I drink, I do my thing. These bitches hating, so you know I got to make it plain. Don't do cocaine with your chick, my main. We stick together, true forever, yeah, you know we bang. I miss those days, which was easy. If only I made it, keep this shit on repeat. Now that I done upgraded, I've been upstate, but y'all think I'm playing. And I got a hit now for these weak assholes who think I ain't slaying. Try me, and I'll probably end up laughing, cause I never back down. I'm that chick with a clean ass whip, I don't need that shit, it's like I'm my own now. I get hurt, I get tired of fussing, fighting, guess I gotta crack down. Don't mess with me, cause on everything, I'ma have to bring the whole city out.
WHOOBAZOO, that's Hoobazoo.com. Enter website, enter website, enter website, enter website.